This is the book of Daniel, chapter 3, verse 15. Now then, as soon as you hear the sound of the trumpet, oboes, lyre, zither, harp, and all the other instruments, bow down and worship the statue. If you do not, you will immediately be thrown into a blazing fire furnace. Do you think there's any power who can save you? I like to give all praises and glory to Almighty Yahweh Yahweh Shai. I like to give all praises and glory to Almighty Yahweh Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the men of GMS who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is Brother Boaz on the set once again. When this thing goes down, when you have to take that mark of the beast, you think it's going to be a God to save you? Okay, that's a question. And you're going to have some extreme faith to be endured. Okay, you're going to have to know that Yahweh Shai is there for you and that delivers you out of all troubles and tribulations. Okay, you're going to have that strong faith and belief. Okay, because this devil's going to throw some hell on you. Okay, you're going to be thrown into a blazing fiery furnace. Okay, that's what this is about. You're going to get put into a blazing fiery furnace. Okay, and you're going to have some, once again, some strong faith in Yahweh Shai to make it out with your life when this thing goes down. Okay, we all are catching hell. Everybody's catching their tribulations. Everybody is catching their straight hell. Okay, but you have to trust in Almighty Yahweh Shai. The book of Psalms, chapter 31, verse 6. You hate those who worship false gods, but I trust in you. Okay, you're going to have some trust in Yahweh Shai. Okay, you're going to have all confidence and all confidence and all glory in Yahweh Shai, okay? Because this man's going to take away your life. He's going to take away your job. He's going to take away your kids. He's going to take away your home, okay? And you're not going to be able to entertain a life without this digital ID, okay? And right now, we all are catching hell. We all are losing a job. We're losing out. You're about to be homeless, okay? But you have to have that's a faith that you have to have in Yahweh Shai, okay? You have to believe that this thing's going to be okay, that he's going to guide you wherever you go through, okay? That you want to be delivered out of the situations that you're going through. You have to have some strong faith and belief in Yahweh Shai. The book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 6. The helpless call to him, and he answers and saves them out of all their troubles. Okay, so the helpless ones call upon Yahweh Shai, and he saves them out of all these troubles. Okay, you're gonna have to you gotta go through your tribulations. You gotta go through your tribulations. You gotta go through your setbacks. The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve Yahweh, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thou heart upright and constantly endure, and make no haste in the time of trouble. Cling unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thou last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take it cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in a fire, and acceptable men in a furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way upright, and trust in him. Okay, the key word here, you have to trust in Almighty Yahweh Shai. Okay, You got to put all your trust in him, okay? He's not going to leave you out there stranded, okay? He's not going to leave you as orphans in this world, okay? The book of the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 5. And having been little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For power proves them and found them worthy to for himself. Okay, so power prove having been little chastised. Okay, we went through a little tribulations. Yahweh Shah is gonna basically deliver us. Okay, and because gold, it has to be tried in the fire. Okay, verse 6. As gold in a furnace have been tried, try them and receive them as a burnt offering. Okay, so whenever Yahweh Shai glories in our tribulations, when we are put in these binds, and then he basically glorifies, he's glory when we call upon his holy and divine name and Yahweh Yahweh Shai. Okay, that's what this is about. That's what this is all about. Okay, calling on the names of Yahweh Yahweh Shai and making his divine name and calling on his divine name. That's what this is all about. Okay, so okay, let's go to the book of the book of the book of history of the Bell of the Dragon, chapter 34. Let's start at 28. When the when the when they were in Babylonia, they took great indignation and conspired against him, saying, is the king is become a Jew, and have destroyed Bel of the slain of the dragon and put the priest to death. So they came to the king and said, deliver us, Daniel, or else we will be destined for thee in thy house. How now, when the king saw that they pressed him and stored and constrained, he delivered Daniel unto them, who cast him into the lion's den when he was there for 6 days. And in the den there was 7 lions, and they had given them every day a carcass and 2 sheep, which they was not given unto them, to attend that they would devour Daniel. Now there was in jury a prophet called Habakkuk, who has made this pottage and was broken a piece of bread into a bowl and was going to fill to bring it to the reapers. But the angel of Yahweh said unto Habakkuk, go and carry the dinner that thou hast unto Babylon, unto Daniel, who is in the lion's den. And Habakkuk answered, Lord, I never been to Babylon, neither do I know where the den is. Then the angel of Yahweh took him by the crown and bare him by the hair of his head, and through the vehement of his spirit set him in the Babylonia over the den. And Habakkuk cried out, saying, O Daniel, take the dinner which power has set for thee. And Daniel said, Thou hast remembered me, O power, neither hast thou forsaken that I will see thee and love thee. Okay, so once again, we all are going through the tribulations. We all are going through setbacks, okay? And when this thing goes down, it's going to be like basically being put into the flame of the furnace. The book of, we'll start at verse 1. The book of Psalms, chapter 30, verse 34, verse 1. I will always thank Yahweh. I will never stop praising him. I will praise him for what he has done. May all those who are oppressed listen and be glad. Proclaim with me the Yahweh's greatness, and let's praise his name together. I prayed to Yahweh, and he answered me. He freed me from all of my fears. The oppressed look to him and are glad, and they never be disappointed. Verse 7. The angels guard those who honor Yahweh and rescue them from danger. Find out for yourself how good Yahweh is. Happy are those who find safety in him. Honor Yahweh, all his people. Those who obey him have all they need. Even lions go hungry for lack of food, but those who obey Yahweh lacks nothing good, okay? So when this thing goes down, okay, you're going to have this scriptures embedded into like the back of your hand, okay? Because you're going to have to pull from your spiritual bank account, okay? Because this devil is going to put your life against you, okay? He's going to say, if you don't take this demonic device, okay, you're not going to be able to entertain a life, okay, in this demonic kingdom that we're living in. Going back to the book of Daniel. The book of Daniel, chapter 3, verse 16. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered, You may, your majesty, we will not be defendants of ourselves. If power whom we serve is able to save us from the blazing furnace and from your power, then he will. But even if he doesn't, your majesty, be assured that we will not worship your God, and we will not bow down to the gold statue that you have set up. Okay, so this demonic new world order, okay, this satanic new world order, okay, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, okay, okay. Once again, everyone's losing their jobs, okay, losing their loved ones, okay. You have to call upon the names every time you go through a tribulation or setback. You got to call upon the names of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. You have to. That's what this is about. Okay, one moment. Give me a second here. Looking for the book of the book of Second Corinthians, I believe, is 2:11. Let's see what the book of Second Corinthians 2:11 says. The book of Second Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. In order to keep Satan from getting the upper hand over us, for we know what his plans are. Okay, we know this is the demonic, the satanic government. It's wanting to bring out a new world order device. Okay, to implant every man, woman, and child. Okay, on the planet. Okay, but in that day, you're going to have to call upon the names of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, if you want to be delivered, okay? Eh, Calling upon him as a hopeful elect so you can make it out of here with your life when this thing goes down. The book of First Peter chapter 1, verse 1. From Peter, apostle of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, to powers chosen people who live in as refugees. So we're just refugees. Okay, this is not our place of residence. Okay, we just refugees here. Okay, temporary foreign residents. Okay, we just do enough to get by, pay bills. Okay, where if you have a little job, work a job. Okay, just basically maintaining throughout the province of Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Britannica. You are chosen according to the purpose of power, the Father, and they're made holy people by his Spirit to the obeying of Yahweh Mashiach and be purified by his blood. May grace and peace be yours in full measure, okay? The book of First Peter chapter 1, verse 3. Let us give thanks to the power and Father of our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, because of his great mercy he has gave us a new life by raising Yahweh Shai Mashiach from the dead. This fills us with a living hope, and we so look forward to possessing the rich blessings that Yahweh Shai keeps for his people. He keeps them for you in heaven, where you cannot deny you cannot decay or spoil or fade away. They are for you who through faith are kept safe by powers, by Yahweh's power, for the salvation that is ready to be revealed at the last time. So we just this is the last test, okay? And once we do get delivered, okay, all the anarchy and all the sorrows and all the pains is over, okay? Oh, this is the last test, okay? We went through a lot of tribulations, we went through a lot of setbacks, okay, a lot of hardships, but this is the last test that Yahweh Shai is going to put us through. Be glad about this, even though it may have now be necessary for you to be sad for a while because of the many kind of trials you are suffering. Their purpose is to prove that your faith is genuine, even gold, which can be destroyed and is tested by fire, and so much your faith, which is much more than precious than gold, much that must also be tested so that it may endure. Then you will receive praise and glory and honor on the day when Yahweh Shah Mashiach is revealed. Okay, that's what this is about. The book of Daniel, chapter 3, verse 19. Then Nebuchadnezzar lost his temper, and his face turned with anger at Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So he ordered the furnace to be heated 7 times hotter than usual, and he commanded the strongest men of his army to tie the 3 men up and throw them into the fire, the blazing furnace. So they tried them up fully dressed, skirts, robes, cape, and all, and threw them into the flaming furnace. Now, because the king had given strict orders for the furnace to be extremely hot, the flame burnt the guards who took the men to the furnace. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, still tied up, fell into the heart of the blaze. Okay, so they got through right in the middle of the flame. Okay, they got through right in the middle, the hottest point of the furnace. Okay, so that's why we have to put our faith in Yahweh Shai, call upon his divine name, and Yahweh Shai is going, he will deliver us, okay? He's not going to leave us as orphans, okay? That's what this is about, okay? He's not going to leave us as orphans out here, okay? Stranded. I will not leave you as orphans, Book of John. The Book of John, chapter 14, verse 18. When I go, you will not be left alone. I will come back to you. In a little while, the world, you will see me no more, but you will see me. And because I live, you will also will live. When that day comes, you will know that I am in my Father, and that you are in me, just as I am in you. Okay. So Yahweh Shah is not going to leave us as orphans out here, okay, stranded and abandoned, okay. Yahweh Shah is going to be there to deliver us out of these set perils. Once again, we all are going through tribulations. We all are going through setbacks, okay. But we have to call upon the names of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, so we can make it out with our life when this thing goes down. The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 3. Let us give thanks unto to power, the Father of our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, the merciful Father, the power from whom all help comes. He helps us in our troubles so that we are able to help others and who have all kinds of troubles. using the same help that we ourselves have received from power, just as we have shared in Mashiach many sufferings, so also through Mashiach we share in power's great help. If we suffer, it is for your help and salvation. If we are helped, then you too are helped, and give the strength to endure with patience the same sufferings that we also endure. So our hope in you is never shaken. We know that just as you share in sufferings, you also share in the help we receive. We want to remind you, friends, of the trouble we had in the province of Asia. The burdens laid upon us were so great and so heavy that we gave up all hope of staying alive. So that's how much hell they caused. That's how much more hell they called, okay? And that's the tribulations that we going through, okay? They despair of even living, okay? That's the tribulations that they was going through, okay? We felt that the death sentence had been passed on us, but this happened so that we should not rely on ourselves, but only on Yahweh, who raises the dead. From such trouble, danger of death, he saved us and will save us, and we have placed our hope in him that he will save us again. Okay, so whatever tribulations and trial you're going through, Yahweh Shah is going to save us again. Okay, we don't have nothing to worry about. Okay, whatever trial and tribulation that we're going through, he's going to save us again. The book of Daniel, chapter 3, verse 24. Suddenly Nebuchadnezzar leaped to his feet in amazement. He asked his official, "Didn't we tie up three men and throw them into the blazing flame?" They answered, "Yes, we did, Your Majesty." "Then why do I see four men walking around in the fire?" He asked. "They are not tied up, and they show no signs of being hurt." And the fourth angel looked like an angel. So Nebuchadnezzar went up to the door of the flaming furnace and called out, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servant of the supreme power, come out." And they came out at once. All the princes, governors, lieutenants, governors of other officials, and the king gathered to look at the three men who was not being harmed by the fire. Their hair was not singed, their clothes were not burned, and there was no smell of smoke on them. The king said, "Praise the power of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego." He sent his angel and rescued those men who serve and trust him. They disobeyed my orders and risked their lives rather to be bowed down and worship any god except their own. And now I command that if anyone of any nation, race, language speaks disrespectfully of the power of Meshach, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, he will be torn limb to limb, and his house is to be made a pile of rubble, a pile of ruins. There is no other power who can rescue like this. So that's what this is about, okay? Calling upon the names of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, the supreme God, okay? The ultimate supreme God. So hopefully you will edify. I like to give all praises and glory to Almighty Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.